Every family tree hides a secret. Hereditary is directed by Aster and stars Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, Alex Wolff, Millie Shapiro, and Dowd. Before I go any further, I just want to say there will not be any plot spoilers in this review. I've said this before and I'll say it again, this is one of those movies where you should definitely know the least amount possible going in. This film centers around the Graham family, particularly in the aftermath of the death of the grandmother, who is the mother of the Annie Graham character portrayed by Toni Collette. In the aftermath of her death, the family begins to deteriorate psychologically as well as physically as certain revelatory and frightening things come to light that have a lasting effect on the family. This is Ari Aster's first film, and this is quite a debut film for a director. This is one of the most positively buzzed about movies since it premiered back in January at the Sundance Film Festival. I and many others have been waiting months and months to finally see this movie, and I have to say it was well worth the wait. This is just an astonishingly frightening movie. This is a movie that is both psychologically frightening as well as aesthetically frightening. It is definitely a true horror film, and it is a great horror film, at least from my perspective. I am someone who really likes smart, intelligent horror films, ones that aren't so predicated upon the cheap jump scares that you seem to get in a lot of the films within the horror genre. This film does have a few jump scares in there, but it doesn't rely on them. This film relies upon a lot of surrealism, a lot of psychological things happening, and it's very slow and very deliberate in its pacing, and it is also astonishingly well shot. The camera doesn't do a lot of things that are complex. Not a lot of jumping when it comes to the editing. The film really lets the actors play out what they want to play out within the frame. The camera holds steady a lot. There's just a lot of slow zooming in, a lot of slow zooming out, and it really leads to a lot of great tension, and it builds up a lot of dread throughout the movie. As you're watching this movie, there's just this irking feeling that you get within you, and you know something bad is going to be the end result within this movie. You're not quite sure what it is, although I will say that this film does use a lot of elements that we've seen in several other horror films, but it is also able to, I think, keep us guessing and keep us wanting to stay engaged while watching to see what is going to happen. At least that is what I found while watching the movie. This film seems to take a lot from the films of David Lynch. I really found a lot of Lynchisms in this movie. The surrealism definitely infusing and amping up the terror within this movie. This film is a heavy film that I think you really need to engage yourself with. I would definitely compare it to The Witch that came out a few years ago, which was also put out by the distribution company of A24, who seem to latch themselves onto a lot of these very unique horror psychological films. When it comes to thematic depth in this movie, this film is dealing with a lot of interesting thematic things, particularly when it comes to this idea of hereditary, that we are gaining things from our ancestors, things that we don't particularly want to get, but that things that we are predicated to happen to us. Also, when it's dealing with this idea of kind of regret and buried secrets and them being forced to light in a rather psychological way. Toni Collette's performance is one of the best I've seen in any film this year. There's a lot of drama and a lot of depth within her character. There is an external thing happening with her as well as an external thing happening with her, and she plays both of those aspects extremely well. Gabriel Byrne, I thought, was also fantastic in the movie. Alex Wolff, who plays her son, was also really good as well, going on his character's journey. The young actress who plays the daughter, I thought, was really, really good as well. There is something about creepy child actors in horror movies that really frighten me, because children tend to be unpredictable predictable, and this child was definitely so. This was one of the best movies I've seen this year. I'm going to give this film a rather high score of 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is that good of a movie, and it is an astonishing premiere work from the director Ari Aster. But I definitely think it is worth your time if you like horror movies, and if you like really good movies in general, and if you like to be creeped out, because this movie will creep you out. So that has been my review of Hereditary. If you like this video, please check out the other videos on my channel.